Let's consider an example to understand the issues involved in cost management and specifically in activity-based costing. Assume your company has a variety of expenses and it creates several products and sells that to different customers. If we try to understand how expensive it is to serve individual customers or products, we can try to map out the relationship between these quantities, and we find that the relationship from products to customers is fairly straightforward, essentially just the sales data, whereas the relationship from expenses, various kinds of expenses, to products is much less, and customers is much less direct. Some of the expenses are direct manufacturing costs for those products, others are indirect or overhead expenses, such as IT cost or sales, wages, and benefits. In other words, if we try to forward model the influence of cost across those three layers, the main idea of activity-based costing is to introduce and specifically model all value-generating activities required to produce those products and to sell to those customers. Again, the consumption of cost through those activities can be measured in various ways, be it in the form of the time that employees work on these and then their salaries and essentially the cost for that employee time, or the rent and facility cost, again factored in via the size of the that is required for those activities, for example office space, or simply any asset that is required to conduct those activities can be measured. Now, how do activities again feed those costs forward? There are activities that are directly related to customers, such as a customer visit, contract negotiations, or customer support calls. And of course there are the activities required to produce those products, such as research and development or manufacturing cost. In other words, through activity-based costing, one can forward model the flow of cost from the top in this depiction from the top down, and revenue flows from the bottom up. The revenue, all the proceeds from customer sales. And by subtracting those two, we can obtain the profit, and with our tool we can now analyze profit, revenue, and cost on a per unit or total basis throughout all those different dimensions that you see: expenses, employees, activities, products, customers.